New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment. Inspiring humanity's evolution, journey of enlightenment, and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring. New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment. Inspiring humanity's evolution, enlightenment, and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring.
Live from a secure concrete bunker's Thought Media Network presents Pastor Michael Mangus with Friday's Fireside Chat, spiritual conversation for today. Here he is from the secret radio room, surrounded by thousands of watts, Pastor Michael Mangus.
Well, and once again, they messed around with my settings. You know what? Sometimes let's see here, we'll go to camera. No, I don't want that. I want layouts. And they messed up the layouts. Of course they did. Let's see here. Oh my. Okay, let's go back to this one. Okay. Oh, they messed it up. Anyhow. Hi there. They've messed up my settings. Well, welcome. Good evening. This is the Friday evening Fireside Chat here on your New Thought Media Network. I'm Reverend Michael Mangus. I'm broadcasting this evening from the extra secure concrete bunker somewhere in Akron, Ohio that is so top secret. Only one person knows where it's located. Everyone else, including Reverend Jeff Radcliff, and the guy I don't want to find me sometimes, and that is the Reverend Robert Brzezinski. I don't want him to find me. Probably after tonight's show, he's probably going to be looking for me. Well, hi there, everyone, and good to see everyone this evening. If you would like to go ahead and to comment, that would be great this evening. Or for all the shy people out there, yeah, I know you're out there and you're saying, there is no way I'm going to put anything up on during his show. You know what? That is so interesting. Anyhow, just go ahead and to put on Reverend Michael Mangus at gmail.com. pastormichaelmangus@gmail.com. Well, again, the reason we do this every single week is to talk about contemporary issues from a New Thought perspective. And as I keep saying, I want us all to have a new thought about what is going on around us in the world, and also not only here in the United States, but also globally. And the big lie out there is that you are not empowered to do anything. That's a huge, huge lie, because you are, because you have power. And so this evening, we're asking you to reclaim your power by listening to the news. Hopefully it's in a jovial manner. 'Tis the season, and we're going to have a good time this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, helping me with my layouts this evening. Someone messed up all the layouts, Jeff.
We're going to change your name to Brooke.
Brooke,
okay?
why?
Because you were just babbling. because you were just
okay.
babbling a little while. I mean,
I'm sorry.
you're like a puppy. Somebody moved his water dish, and he doesn't know.
People move stuff around here, and then they expect me to find everything. Well, anyhow,
knows where you are. Remember who could move it. You better not be this at Diana's doorstep, or I will have to take you on.
Okay,
that
ladies and gentlemen, here he is,
Reverend Jeff Radcliff.
All right.
You usually like that, so that's why
I do. I like that.
Well, anyhow, Reverend Jeff, how was your week?
Yeah, it's been interesting. There have been some ups, there have been some downs, there have been some weirdness, but it's Friday. I can put all that behind me and look forward to the weekend.
Well, good.
Yeah. I think I used up all the F-bombs that Legal gave me last week.
When?
Waiting for you to get your stuff together tonight. Oh my God! They moved my settings. What am I going to do? Oh no!
They do. They moved all of. Let's see here. Gosh, they still have it. They still have moved all of my. They moved all of my layouts.
Oh man!
Oh man! You know what? These individuals. We're going to have to. I'm going to have to put in a formal complaint with Reverend Brzezinski.
Yeah. Oh, I just literally got a text message from Reverend Joy Fletcher, who is one of my co-hosts on Divine Science Everywhere, which we did just a few hours ago.
Right.
I meant to make mention of it last week, and I forgot.
So
go ahead. Well, I will make mention of it this week, and I forgot. I will make mention of it now here because I meant to mention it last week here as well. But the New Thought community lost one of our brightest lights a few days ago when Reverend Dr. Paul Hasselbeck made his transition. And right now they are currently streaming his memorial service. Of course, we can't do both, so I'm here, but I'm thinking that we should be able to catch a replay of it. But one of the most principled New Thought teachers.
Absolutely.
He and Reverend Barbara Waterhouse and Reverend Johnny Coleman are probably the three top, and Reverend Mary Tumpkin as well. Those are probably the four most uncompromising New Thought teachers I have had in my life, and to see them all, move on into their next experience, it's a very odd feeling.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I wanted to mention that last week and I forgot, so I can mention it now here, and then next week I'll bring it up for Divine Science Everywhere. Which, by the way, if you have not caught, we had the most fascinating show tonight.
You did?
Yeah, Reverend Doctor. Is she a doctor? I don't know if she's a doctor. She might just be a reverend.
Well, you just gave it to her anyhow.
I just gave it to her. I promoted her. I put her up in Mount Rushmore. Suzanne Carter is a licensed therapist and an ordained Unity minister. And she does all kinds of really neat therapies with people, including equine therapy. And she went into
that's horses, folks.
That's horses, yeah.
Okay.
She does horses and canine, dogs. But as she said, any animal can help you to reach people who are in crisis or whatever. But she was going on about the horses, and I had a couple of classes in equine therapy when I was in social work school.
Mm-hmm.
And it's fascinating because here are animals that were prey back, in prehistoric times, and still the predators can go after them, and so they found safety in numbers. They're like people in that way. They know that they are better off in community rather than as an individual out on their own. And it was just fascinating. You have got to check her out. Check out Divine Science Everywhere. Today's date. You'll be happy you did.
Okay.
I'm telling
And
you.
that's on New Thought
That's
Media
on
Network on the YouTube.
Your New Thought Media Network. Well,
I
not
was
just
supposed to say
yours.
yours. Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
but,
Because
but
it's
all
not
of ours.
mine.
Yeah,
It's yours.
it's yours.
Okay.
Yes, exactly.
All right. Anyhow, I know why you're watching this evening. To see me mess up and to laugh at it.
That's why I'm here. That
Okay.
the paycheck. Yeah.
But the reason you're here
Yeah.
is to check out the Reverend Jeff's story of the week. This will be one for the archives here.
Oh,
Okay.
boy. This is gonna hit the blooper reel.
Oh, no. Anyhow, just to let you know that Reverend Jeff's story this week, again, everything that Jeff
Don't give
does
anything
goes
away.
to the legal department.
Don't give anything away. We're having none of that.
Okay.
Uh,
However,
there's a joke in there, folks.
I know there was, but this week, when reviewing his story, legal had to call in our staff counselors because it triggered all of their Catholic stuff. Now, Reverend Dr. Brzezinski went down the hallway and he says, everyone is fine. And they started the staff holiday party early when they broke out the Irish whiskey.
Well, there you go.
Oh, by the way, that when he was down at legal, that Reverend Dr. Brzezinski spun the wheel of F's. And this week, you have
15.
12.
Ooh, 12.
12 F-bombs to be used at your discretion.
Okay.
During the show.
Awesome. Fuck yeah. All right.
Oh, that's one.
There you go. Well, all right.
All right.
You have to keep track because I only have 10 fingers. I can't count.
Okay.
No. Let's get on with the news, shall we?
Well, no. Well, we have to, do some holiday stuff first.
Okay.
Ho,
ho, freaking ho.
Ho, ho. Again, 13 days till Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
And have you done your shopping for my gift yet?
I did, actually. It's on order. It'll be delivered on December 26th.
Okay. On December 26th?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Why not on the 25th?
Because it was a special order and it needed to be made.
Okay.
It's handmade.
All right. Well, yours truly has helped Santa for years. That's a picture of me a few years back.
Okay.
Santa Claus. Man, I looked good. However, we have received special communications from the North Pole.
Not to do that again. Oh, no, I'm at the top.
You're at the top of the naughty list this year.
Well, it's about damn time. I've been waiting for this honor for years.
Jeff, you finally made it.
Yeah. Go back to your picture because I don't have one of me because I was a mall Santa one year. The year that my former wife and I she was extremely pregnant with our son who was going to be born the following month.
Right.
But she's got the picture of her sitting on my lap at the mall.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it was a really cool gig. They brought in busloads of kids from different elementary schools during the course of the day. I was there for over 8 hours talking to all these little kids, like 3rd grade and under.
All right.
And it was really cool. Taking pictures with all of them. And smacking the ones that peed on me, and stuff like that.
You
I
didn't
did
smack him,
not.
did you?
No, I didn't.
Well, now hold it. Now we
But
again,
it would be out of character for me if I didn't say something like that, right?
we also have special, again, the communication we had a very long conversation with the North Pole. We found out that Lily, the wonder dog, is on the good list.
I'm surprised at that because she promised that she was going to be quiet during the afternoon, and she barked her head off when one of the neighbors walked by. So yeah.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, she's generally a pretty good girl. So,
well, this is what I asked Santa for this year. Dear Santa Claus, I would like a fully rotatable.
What? This looks like Radio Free Europe here.
Yes, it is. It's a fully rotatable multi diplexed antenna. And I want to put that in my backyard. So Santa, if you could just put that on your sleigh for me, that would be great.
You're trying to spread propaganda into North Korea. I know.
Well, now I also told Santa I also need a 500,000 watt transmitter too.
Yeah.
All right.
You definitely need that if you want to spread the word of New Thought to North Korea. You'd need that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have to do this, and now it's time for the news.
Oh.
From the Spiritual News Network, the Spiritual Information Network, also known as SIN. This is your reporter reporting.
Sorry.
What?
That just struck me funny. I don't know.
All right. Well, this week, the U.S. seizes sanctioned oil tanker off of coast of Venezuela. The U.S. has seized a sanctioned oil tanker. Now, what made it sanctioned or not, I don't know. But off the coast of Venezuela, President DT said on Wednesday a move that have sent oil prices higher and sharply escalating tensions between Washington and Caracas. Trump said that we have just seized a tanker on the coast of Venezuela, a very large tanker, a very big tanker, largest one ever, actually, and other things happened.
He's so hyperbolic.
Said Trump, who has been pressuring Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro to step down. Asked what would happen with the oil, Trump said, we're going to keep it, I guess. In response, the Venezuelan government, in a statement, accused the U.S. of blatant theft and described the seizure as an act of international piracy. It said it would denounce the incident before international bodies.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
they've already filed suit with The Hague, and the International Criminal Court. So, what made this boat sanctioned was it was actually named as part of the U.S. sanctions against Venezuela because they were dealing with Iranian and Russian oil, and they were told not to use that ship to do that. And so, since they broke the sanctions, supposedly that's why they went after it. I'm not sure I buy that, but
I want to show you a sign that my neighbor put up last year during the elections. So my MAGA neighbor puts up this sign, and then he scribbles in, of course, Sharpie. Trump will stop all wars. He will stop the bleeding at the borders. I thought this guy was supposed to be the peace president. Didn't he receive a peace prize last week?
A POS prize, maybe, but yeah.
Well,
Because did you see the meme? This was FIFA. This was the soccer people.
Okay.
And he said something about the Fifian people.
The Fifian people.
Like they were a country.
Yeah.
Giving him like their national honor or something. And somebody needs to take Grandpa's keys away from him.
Or something. Again, that it's interesting. I've on my my Facebook feed, I've noticed that all of the MAGA folks have gone radio silent.
I've noticed that too.
Isn't that interesting?
It is.
They're all radio silent.
They're embarrassed.
But wait, there's more.
Ooh.
And what is going on in MAGA world has been described as a civil war. The MAGA media machine is ripping itself to shreds, locked in a web of interpersonal feuds that have derailed the once relentless focus on advancing President Trump's agenda. Now, what has happened is this. The MAGA movement has spent years perfecting the art of attacking outsiders. Now, less than a year into Trump's second term, its most prominent voices are now after each other with a fury normally reserved for those dang people on the left. Now, the biggest one is Candace Owen, who is pictured, and Turning Point USA. Owens has ignited one of the movement's most volatile disputes by alleging that TPUSA, where she did once work and was a friend of Charlie Kirk, played some role in the assassination of its founder. I went on her site on YouTube, and she still is accusing that there were other planes in the area, saying that there were Egyptian planes helping this shooter, and that there were more people involved than just the shooter. TPUSA issued an aggressive denial and challenged Owens to join a Monday live stream in person where plans to rebut each and every one of her allegations about its work in Charlie's death. Owens declined to take up the offer after telling the group to pick the time and the place for a meeting, saying that it interfered with her children's homeschooling duties. Your comments, Reverend Jeff Radcliff.
Oh, Lord, those poor children are going to grow up with those little pointed caps on their head.
Oh man, I mean, they are going after each other. Tucker Carlson versus Laura Loomer. See, I think we should all take all of these fights and put them on pay-per-view.
Yeah, take them to Vegas so we could bet on them, for God's sake.
I think personally, Laura Loomer would take Tucker out.
Are you kidding me? Tucker's
well,
I'm not gonna go there, but yeah, she could take him and then some.
So a handful of MAGA figures are trying to tamp down the chaos, but it's unclear if anyone's listening. Pessimism has grown about the state of the GOP heading into the midterms. And if you have any, if the last week's elections putting the first Democratic mayor in Miami's in 30 years of Miami. The first Democratic mayor who's a woman. Holy moly. It says the Republicans in Congress have decided to lose the midterms. They want to lose their Senate and House majorities. And that was done by a mega influencer, warning of a plot by the chicken hawk warmonger establishment.
Okay.
They are going after each other. Unbelievable. Your comments, Reverend Jeff.
It's fascinating. And meanwhile, here she is on Turning Point, which, by the way, I think calling it TP is very astute. But they're ripping, like you said, they're ripping each other apart, but yet they're still trying to take down and own the libs. There are like 4 or 5. I read the article this morning, actually. Maybe like 5 or 6 lawsuits in Middle Tennessee alone from people who are suing over having lost their jobs because they said something that was offensive to the MAGA crowd that really liked Charlie Kirk. And the most offensive thing I saw was they had called him a white supremacist.
Okay.
And it's kind of hard to deny that. I mean, nobody said that they were happy that he died. Nobody said that, they were really, rejoicing that he got taken out. But you can't whitewash that kind of stuff. And of course, the offended, complained. And so you've had a couple of college professors, a high school teacher,
yes,
a woman who worked for one of the state offices get fired. And so they've joined together and are suing to get their jobs back. So this and these folks are going to find out eventually that they were on the wrong side of history.
I hope so. Again, the assassination of Charlie Kirk was an evil deed.
Yes.
And that does not mean that we can't criticize or critique the man's life.
Yeah.
Without getting fired or people running to the church board members. That's one of the reasons I'm glad I don't have a church board, is because that's stuff kind of that happens when, again, that you are vocal and bringing up the obvious.
Yeah.
But so,
and it gets better with all this craziness that's coming out of the right and the GOP and the weirdness that they attract. For the past 13 years, something like that, there's a state park not too far from where I live called Montgomery Bell State Park. And since 2012, they have hosted the American Renaissance Conference.
Okay.
The American Renaissance Conference are neo-Nazis, KKK,
yes,
white supremacist, white nationalist people. And for years, the guest list for the people who are going to be speaking there has been kept secret. Well, this year, one of Nashville's TV stations set up surveillance at the security checkpoint out there in plain sight, didn't hide the camera or anything. They knew they were being filmed as they came into the place, but there was nothing that they could do to stop it because, number one, he was on public property, and number two, he wasn't trying to hide anything. They just, tried to cover up their faces and whatnot, but they identified a lot of the people who were there, including a guy from Romania or someplace like that, who is actually not allowed to be in the country. So they showed him via Zoom.
Okay.
to preach his brand of hatred. They've had all kinds of people show up who identify as racist, who proudly identify as racist, and some of them have actually actively promoted political violence against Democrats and against anybody who doesn't support their craziness. So it's just fascinating to me to see these people trying to hang on by their fingernails. They're on their way out. They don't like it. Tough shit.
They don't like the fact that
they're getting called out, they're getting identified, and that people are finally starting to see them for who they are and realize, you know what? I'm not that bad. I'm seeing a lot of these Republicans are starting to switch parties or very quietly backing away from their party because they don't want to be identified with that anymore.
Absolutely.
They're waking up. They're becoming woke. OMG.
Well, first of all,
I'm sitting back here with my Michael Jackson popcorn, just enjoying the show.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go take a break here.
Already?
Yeah, we've got to. We got to pay a few bills.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Well, hello there. Good evening to everyone. This is the Friday Evening Fireside Chat here on your New Thought Media Network. I'm Reverend Michael Mangus, and we have some announcements here. Just to let you know that this coming Sunday at Summit CSL, we'll have a great opportunity online to share a powerful New Thought message with you. All you need to do is to go to our wonderful Sunday gathering at 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific time. Grab your cup of coffee, your tea, your espresso. Come join us. And I do believe that we have one of the best services in New Thought. This Sunday, we'll have a talk from our friend and musician and also a longtime Science Mind student, Tim Morrow. So go to summitcsl.org for more information about our Zoom call. Please join us again. I do believe it is one of the best hours in New Thought because we balance the 3 M's: music, meditation, and message. summitcsl.org. Okay. We will take a quick break and then we will be back with Reverend Jeff's story of the week. Here on Positively Inspiring New Thought Media Network.
The views and opinions expressed by Pastor Michael Mangus are generally right. However, they are his own and do not reflect the views and opinions of New Thought Media Network, Centers for Spiritual Living, or any other person living or dead. As they say in the 12-Step Recovery Program, take what you like and leave the rest. Here again is Pastor Michael.
And now it is time for the award-winning and ever-popular Reverend Jeff's story of the week.
Cue the music.
Oh, I'm just having just a fun time trying to do all these styles and everything. Do you really want music? You know what? For
Hell kind of
you,
question is that?
for you, for you, for you, for you.
For me,
Here you go. This is Reverend Jeff Radcliff.
Amateurs, they make you work with amateurs.
Just cause I'm not that I can see. Mother said to tell me what to see. When W7 and on starts K. Reverend your story of the week. Just cause I'm not that I can see. Mother said to tell me what to see. When W7 and on starts K. Reverend your story, story. Reverend your story.
And here he is, all the way from Tennessee.
Yeah.
The Reverend Jeff Radcliff.
You know, I hear that song. The thing that comes to my mind is all the little kids in the Peanuts Christmas special. And they're playing that song Linus and Lucy, you know, the piano, the heavy piano thing. And everybody's doing their dance. That's what I picture. So that's the highlight of my week right there. All righty, let's go to Europe, shall we? 3 Austrian nuns in their 80s ran away from their rest home. They had gone to this place. They had been in a convent for years, and the church decided that they were going to close the convent. Didn't have any other place to put them, so they put them in a retirement home. And they ran away, went back to the convent. And so they have got like 100,000 followers on Instagram now because they're posting their daily routines. They're showing them at prayer. They're showing them making candles, meeting with the community. They have whistling classes. Now, I'm not sure what that's about, but, you know, it is what it is. But more surprisingly, they also take up boxing. They've taken up boxing in order to keep fit. Now we're talking about Sister Bernadette, who's 88 years old, Sister Regina, who is 86, and Sister Rita, who is 82. These were the last 3 nuns at the Schloss Goldenstein convent in Elsbethen, just outside of Salzburg, Austria. And so they ran away from the old folks' home and got back into the convent. Some of their former students and a locksmith helped them get back in. Church authorities are not really happy with these people right now. But Sister Rita said, I was always homesick. I am so pleased to be home. And she said that they were taken out of their will, taken out of the convent against their will back in December of 2023. She said, we had the right to stay here until the end of our lives, and that was broken. We weren't asked, and we came back.
You mean the nuns went ahead and they broke into the convent?
They broke back into the convent. They spent so much of their lives there. This was a former castle. You showed a picture of it just a minute ago. It was a former castle that had been the convent and a private girls' school since 1877. There it is.
Okay.
And the school started accepting boys in 2017. The boys' part of the school is still functioning. So I'm not sure why that is. And the girls' school is defunct. And the nuns who were running the girls' school pushed off to the side. Not a cool move. Sister Bernadette attended the school herself. She got there as a teenager in 1948. Sister Regina arrived in 1958. And Sister Rita came 4 years after that in 1962. And they all went to work as teachers for many years. Sister Regina was a headmistress for a while. And then the number of nuns dwindled. And then in 2022, the building was taken over by the Archdiocese of Salzburg. And the Reikersburg Abbey, which is an Augustinian monastery, their provost came to the abbey to become the nun superior. And then they decided that they were going to officially dissolve the convent in 2024. And so, prior to the completion of that shutdown, they moved them over to the old folks home. even though they were granted lifelong access to the convent, lifelong residency, as long as their health and mental capacity allowed. So, beginning at the beginning of September, they moved back. And Sister Bernadette said, "I've been obedient all my life, but this was too much." So they packed up. They came back.
You
to
mean
the
even
convent.
nuns have their limit?
Yeah, I guess they found it. Right at the end of the rosary beads was the limit. So they got there. There was no electricity. There was no water. And the provost who had taken over said that it was completely incomprehensible to them why they were even there, because the rooms were no longer usable and in no way meet the minimum requirements for their proper care. Well, these women are boxing each other for exercise. They go out and they walk and they bicycle and they do all that. And he's talking about their precarious health conditions. That means that they can't independently live at the convent any longer, but they're showing otherwise.
Right.
So many of the nuns' wishes about the future of the convent were taken into account, he said, including the continuation of the school. It's 3 months later, and the diocese has finally said, "Okay, fine, you can stay, but only
Isn't
if
that
you
nice of
agree
them?
to certain conditions." They want them to close their social media accounts. They want them to close their Instagram accounts, and they want them to return to a more secluded monastic life and be put back on the waiting list for the nursing home
Right.
for when they can't be cared for anymore at the convent.
No, it's obvious that who's ever supervising all of this, the provost or whatever this guy's name is, he's trying to take over these ladies' lives. And again, that nuns, my aunt was a Humility of Mary sister. And those, I'm telling you, those nuns are extremely powerful women. You really don't want to mess with them. You don't. Yeah. even I remember her, it was her 60th anniversary of taking vows. And I remember the liturgy, the mass. It was very feminine in the energy. The only reason that they had the priest there was to do the actual consecration of the bread and wine. So it's just, well, I'm really glad that they were able to get support from the community, and good for them.
Yeah. Well, the diocese is going to provide them with 24-hour medical care, and they did assign a priest to them for their spiritual care. But, to be told that you have to go back to being monastic again, and you can't have your social media, their lawyer, the nun's lawyer, advised them not to accept the offer because the conditions were so restrictive. But they went ahead and they accepted it anyway because they wanted to be there at the convent as long as they could. So they have not restored water and electricity to all of the convent, but they are restoring it to the parts of the convent where the women are housed. Supporters are bringing in food and groceries. They've gotten doctors to come out and take a look at them and make sure that they're okay. And so, the nuns are prevailing in this. I think it's awesome.
Well, your story, though, triggered our legal department.
Yeah,
some of them are Catholic or were Catholic, and that they were having flashbacks.
Yeah.
Especially of the nuns in those habits, smacking their knuckles with a ruler.
Oh my gosh, yeah. You know what I think makes this worse is that these are women in their mid and upper 80s, and they even took out the chairlift, on the stairs.
Yes.
Help them get up the stairs. They ripped that out, and they've not put it back. So now they're going to have to climb up and down those staircases, to get in and out and do whatever. But they're determined to stay, and more power to them.
Well, maybe they can get like a GoFundMe or something.
It sounds like the community's taking pretty good care of them. And Sister Bernadette had the last word. She said, "Before I die in that old folks' home, I'd rather go to a meadow and enter eternity that way."
Wow.
So they're determined not to go back to the retirement home.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, once again, even though it triggered all of the Catholic trauma of our legal department, that was Reverend Jeff's story of the week. Getting back to the news.
Do we have to?
Yeah, we do. Okay, so the reason we even started doing this, or I started doing this, was during COVID. And we called it the Friday Evening Fireside Chat.
Right.
The reason being is that, again, there was all kinds of crazy stuff going on in the news. People who said that we shouldn't have had shutdowns. We shouldn't have had any type of social isolation. It was against their constitutional rights. Well, now that the Trump administration has their claws all over everything, the FDA intends to put its most serious warning on COVID vaccines. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration intends to put a black box warning on COVID-19 vaccines, according to two people familiar with the agency's plans, the latest move by our wonderful president and his health officials to undermine a vaccine that was a standout victory of his first term. This plan shocked outside experts who said that there is no basis for the warning. A boxed warning, which appears at the top of prescribing information for medicines, is the agency's most serious, designed to warn about the risks such as death or life-threatening or disabling reactions that should be weighed against the intervention's benefits. They also can be used when a risk might be lowered by using a medicine in a targeted way, such as only in certain groups. The plan to install the warning for the COVID-19 vaccines is being orchestrated by Dr. Vinny Prasad, the FDA's Chief Medical and Scientific Officer and Director of the Agency Center for Biological Evaluation and Research, according to one person who declined to be named because they weren't authorized to share the information. The plan has not been finalized and still may change. Now, it wasn't immediately clear whether the plans for the warnings expected to be unveiled by the end of this year would only be applied to the mRNA vaccines or to all COVID-19 vaccines, or whether that they would apply to all age groups. Now, what happened is that the vaccines in and of themselves, one study went ahead and estimated that in their first year of use, COVID-19 vaccines averted almost 20 million deaths around the world. Now, I have always said on this program to follow the science and to, if you want to opt out of it, please do it under medical supervision. However, what I have seen in studying this whole COVID-19 hysteria has been that the science has been right. So I intend to get all of my vaccines for my age group, all of them, the shingles, any type of pneumonia vaccine. I already had the flu and also the COVID update. It just really, for me, keeping my health is not only mental, but also doing what needs to be done in the physical. Your comments, Reverend Jeff.
Well, it was not this past week, but the week before. I had a medical appointment, and while I was there, I got my vaccines. I'm up to date on everything except for the flu and the latest COVID booster. And so I was talking to the guy while I was there, and I said, "It's too bad we couldn't just put them both in one arm and be done with it." And he goes, "Well, I can do that if you want." And I said, "No, let's split them up just to be on the safe side." Well, he didn't bother to tell me which side got what, but I could tell later on. There is a bit of a residual soreness with the COVID vaccine that you don't get with the flu shot. So I knew that this arm over here had COVID in it, and this one over here had the flu shot. But it's prudent when you get to be of a certain age, or if you may have conditions that may be affected by these viruses, you need to do what you can to protect yourself. And I'm like you. I'm going to do all I can, And the thing of it is, we are New Thought people. We know that spirit, God, the universe, the all that is that. All that is. And so it is not taking anything away from the power of divinity to use medical interventions. Even Ernest Holmes said, basically he said that, God is as much in the prayer as he is, or in the pill as he is in the prayer.
Absolutely.
It's all God regardless. So for folks to say, "Oh, well, it's not spiritual to do this," or it's not whatever, we were given a mind to use. It's up to us to use it. And a lot of people don't seem to want to do that. Me, on the other hand, I'm thinking about this. I'm thinking, it's all God. It's all good. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to do it and know that all is well.
For months, even years, and when Diego Reyes was my producer, he he hated the COVID-19 update every week that I gave. However, that the reason I gave it was because even individuals in New Thought were just misinformed about vaccines.
Yeah.
They were misinformed about the science. They did not trust the science. However, it's interesting is that the whole the science in and of itself about COVID-19 was correct. So that's one of the go ahead.
It's 40 years in the making. They've been doing research on mRNA for years and years and years. And, so they already had a lot of that built up. And then they just turned the focus to COVID. That's why they were able to get a vaccine out so quick. And they're saying, "Oh, well, it wasn't tested. It wasn't tried and true." Well, yeah, it was. Since the 1960s, they've been working.
If they would have named the vaccine the Trump vaccine,
we would have heard nothing about it.
We would have heard nothing about this. Mm-hmm. So again, that's one of the reasons, folks, is again to get the facts. Be informed. Don't believe everything on Facebook, please.
Yeah, I've got to work on my
facts get the facts about the vaccine. The reason that we don't have polio, we don't have whooping cough, we don't have a lot of the childhood diseases. And now, did you hear that they're not going to give newborns the hepatitis B shot?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Why?
Because according to Trump, you can only get hepatitis B through sexually transmitted means. Wrong. I have a lovely friend on Facebook. She is a knowledgeable person for the most part,
Mm-hmm.
but she has so fallen under the party line of MAGA, and she is just completely enamored by that worm-eaten uh, health secretary, um, or RFK Jr.
Yes.
And I'm like, and I've debated: do I keep her on my friends list or do I continue to watch her crap come up every once in a while on my feed? And I figure, she adds a little bit, if nothing else. It's kind of sort of entertaining to see the stupidity of some of the comments and the uninformed stance that people are taking. So I'm leaving her there for a while.
Diana said, I had the flu, COVID, and RSV in one arm. No problems, except a little tiredness. Well, good.
You're a better woman
I
than I
did that
am.
one time though, and I got sick, really ill. So I space them out now. Hey, we are going to end this evening on a positive note.
Okay. And I'm kind of sort of disappointed that we didn't get a chance to talk about the ballroom that Trump wants to build, because
There's plenty of time next week. What now?
We'll have it's come to a complete standstill. He
Why?
can't find any. We'll talk about it next week.
Okay.
It's too much detail to go into. We don't have that much time. We'll talk about it next week. But he overplayed his hand, and now he's looking like a fool. So.
Why again? I just don't understand why they went ahead and they tore down a wing of the White House.
We'll talk about it next week.
Next week, okay. Well, we have to talk.
Just got to focus on the fact that we are making ground. We are making progress in a lot of ways, and we need to keep that up. And the way to do that is to change our thoughts about what it is we're seeing out there and to focus on what it is we desire instead of the bullshit that is trying to distract us from that.
Well, this is something that I came across on goodnewsnetwork.org.
Okay.
With mantras and a tricycle. A Buddhist nun supports the Denver unhoused. And that's a picture on a cool morning in Denver. A 70-year-old Buddhist nun pedals their electric tricycle beneath the highway overpasses and along crooked bike paths, slowing as they approach tents tucked under the concrete embankments or someone sleeping under a bridge. The small trailer fastened to the trike carries bottled water, bagged lunches, socks, gloves, Narcan, tents, and hand warmers. The cyclist is Kelsang Vaya, who uses they and them pronouns. She has become a familiar presence to many people living on Denver streets over the past 5 years. The nun, who has helped found the Mutual Aid Monday, which now feeds more than 400 vulnerable and unhoused people a week, scans the grittiest parts of the town for familiar faces. I think I know most of the people here, Vaya said after handing out supplies at a homeless encampment on the outskirts of Lakewood, where around 30 people were gathered around tents and wearing winter jackets, approached them for water and food, saying ma'am, and thanking the nun profusely. And again, this is just one of the good things that are going on. There's a picture of our Buddhist nun friend. And this is what they do on Fridays, is they feed well over 400 people in the Denver area.
That's awesome.
Folks, there's so much good going on out there. And I know that we have several homeless programs here in Summit County. The temperatures have gotten extremely frigid around here, and that I have not heard of any deaths yet, but there are brothers and sisters. Exactly. So any way that you can help, and again, here is a 70-year-old Buddhist nun with her electric tricycle or tricycle, who goes ahead and tows supplies and helps out the homeless in the Denver area.
Here's something I don't know if you know about. Did you know that there is a Buddhist magazine called The Tricycle, or maybe Tricycle?
Tricycle, I think that's
yeah. So for her to use an actual one to help bring supplies to those people who need it is just so in keeping with Buddhist tradition and the philosophy of that. So that's pretty cool.
All right. Any parting words, Reverend Jeff?
Pray.
Yeah, work on my. I want my gift. I want you to present my gift next week on the air.
Okay. I can do that. I can give you a representation of it. The physical one will actually still arrive, in a week or two.
You put it on Santa's sleigh.
Yes. Basically.
Well, now understand this. You do not have to be on the naughty list. I can make a phone call to the North Pole and get you off of the naughty list.
Do you know
I have done that in the past for individuals? I
get more good crap being on the bad list than I am on the good list because people feel sorry for me.
Yeah.
So if y'all are out there and you're feeling sorry for me, if it's bourbon, if it's cash, if it's whatever, here I am. I am more than happy to receive. Good and more good is mine, and
more good is mine. Thank you again, Jeff, and I really appreciate you being on the show. And folks,
I'm not on the show; I'm co-hosting the show.
Oh, damn. You're okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, that's all you had to say was you're welcome.
Okay. You're welcome.
All right, folks. Well, listen, we're out of here. We're out of time. Again, thank you for joining us. And next week, we'll have a very special holiday show for you. And again, listen, this is a time of light. That's the reason why we have all of these seasons. Again, that the light is returning. So let us know that the light is returning also to our planet and also to our societies. All right. So from all of us here at the New Thought Media Network, I am Reverend Michael Mangus. I'm going to wish you a very pleasant good night and also have a great week.
Thanks for joining us this evening for Friday's Fireside Chat with Pastor Michael Mangus. Join us again next week at 8 Eastern, 6 Mountain for more spiritual conversations for today. For more information and replays of past shows, please visit the New Thought Radio and Media Network's Facebook page. Until next week, may God bless you richly and abundantly.